Hello there, this is Anthony Johnson, and the premise of this video is to walk you through a demonstration in SSIS where we are going to take Italy, France, and Sweden. We're going to create variables in SSIS. We're also going to use conditional split, but we're going to put these results inside of a global temp table. So let's start. I'm going to start off with if object ID. Open and close parentheses, put your single quotes. We're going to do temp db dot dot. Then we start our global temp table, which is signified by 2 hash marks. We're just going to call it Italy underscore France underscore Sweden. And then we go outside of the open and close parentheses and we'll say is null. No, is not null. Then we drop the table. We're just gonna copy and paste this. So now we start to build our query out. Our table is called e-commerce sales sheet. We're gonna do a select all from this sheet or this e-commerce sales sheet and or table where country, we're filtering by the countries here. We want Italy, France, and Sweden. And Italy, France, and Sweden. Okay, let's just highlight this and execute it just to see our results. Okay, we have the right results. Now let's add a row number function on it. We'll call it sales in order equals row number over partition by country, because we want to segment the countries. Order by date, because we want them to be in chronological order. So now let's highlight this and check it out before we proceed. And of course, since we partition by the country, it's going to go in order, but once the country ends, France has quite a few. Italy, it will reset. So now we are going to create our temp table. And we're just going to simply use into our global temp table signifier, which is our 2 hash marks. I'm going to copy and paste that name right here. And we're just going to keep that there. Actually, we can construct it, or we're just going to keep that there. We're going to construct our package first. We're going to use our data flow task. We're just going to rename it Italy, France, Sweden. France, Sweden. Double click there. And now let's see. We need an OLEDB source. So Let's go here. I'll let DB source. We'll just name this temp results. Temp meaning temp table. So we have our results. We're gonna throw out a conditional split. And then we are gonna throw out three OLEDB destinations. 1, 2, 3. Let's just rename this real quick to make it more readable. This will be Italy. This will be France. And this one will be Sweden. Okay. So now we have that. Okay, we're just gonna finish configuring up our SSIS package first. I'm gonna right click and we're gonna set our variables. So first variable is gonna be Italy. The scope is fine, it's to the scope of the package. We want to change the data type to a string and we're gonna put in here Italy. And then we're gonna add another variable. It's gonna be France. Change this to string. We'll put France inside of our value column. We're gonna add one last variable. It's gonna be called Sweden. String for the data type and for the value, Sweden. Okay, so now we have all our variables set. Now, we have to go back to SQL Server. We have to execute this in order for our package to run. So select all from, okay. We're just gonna leave that there, but we're gonna highlight this and F5 this so we can execute it. Query executed successfully. Great. Okay. So now, since that's relevant, we're gonna copy this. I'm gonna use OLEDB source. I'm gonna go to SQL command and we're gonna place this in here. Then we're gonna look at the preview. And as you can see, we have values, which is good. Check out the columns. Oh, I have to close this first. Check out the columns. Everything looks neat. Okay. So now we connect to our conditional split. And now we are gonna we'll call this Italy actually. We'll just name it first, Italy. And then for the condition, we drag our country column. Since this is based off the .NET framework, we do equals equals. And then we take our variable Italy. Then we start our second one, do France. Drag our country column over there again. Equals equals. And then we drag our variable over there. And for our last one, which is Sweden, give it a proper name, Sweden. And then we drop our country column over there again. Equals equals, and then we find our Sweden variable and place it over here. Okie doke. So now we're set there. There won't be any default output, so we won't even address that. So now we start to connect. Since this is the Italy table, we're gonna assign it the input output of Italy. This is the France table, so we're gonna assign the France variable and or redirect the results of France to this table. And lastly, Sweden will redirect it there. So now we have to start configuring. Okay. We can just do a fast load, which is fine. Press OK. The mappings line up. I can tell just by looking at this, we didn't add any data convergence, so everything lines up properly. So now we go to France, do the same thing. Fast load a table. We have France. Go to the mappings. Everything lines up. And lastly, go to Sweden. Fast load. Mappings. Everything looks good. And now we have to go to the Properties tab. We have to delay the validation. Since we're dealing with the temp table, we have to set that to true. And I'm also going to do a retain same connection. We're going to also set that to true. So now we can close this out. And we are pretty much set. I'm going to add 3 data viewers just to make sure the data is flowing properly from the data source. Okay. Now let's start it. Let's bring this down. And as you can see, our data viewer is working. Everything is working properly. So I have to keep hitting this green arrow. And we are done there. So we can close that out. And now once you close all the data viewers out, you see everything flow properly. Let me stop debugging. So now we go back to our SQL Server page. We're gonna do a select all from sys.tables. Order by create date. We're gonna do descending. And as you can see, our tables are definitely inside of the database. Let's just do a Control Shift and highlight these 3. We're gonna copy and paste them. Let me scroll down, have a little space here. And then we are going to do Alt Shift so we can touch all 3 of these tables. We're gonna do select top 10 all from. Now you see these squigglies here? All we have to do is Control Shift R. Give it a second. There we go. Now let's highlight all 3 and take a look. So as you can see in the Sweden table, we have 10 values for Sweden. Let's bring this this up. For France, we have 10 values for France. And you see Italy, we have 10 values for Italy. So now let's, just to make sure everything properly went through, which I'm pretty confident it did, we're just gonna do one at a time. Do select all from Sweden. We have 1,630 rows here. All Sweden, all the cells. As you can see, everything's properly in order, in chronological order according to the date. Okie doke. Let's check out. Check out France. Okie doke. Everything looks good there. And then Italy. So this one didn't quite get in the right order. So the row number, that was something optional. It didn't properly work in this case, but the whole objection was to show you how to create variables, map them to the variable, to the actual value that we were looking for, and direct those into their own table. We also took those results from a temp table. This is some good real world practice to get your hands on. I hope this was informational, and thank you and have a blessed night. Bye-bye.